Kim, how you fumble the ball? Like, come on, bro. Like, I want to get into that. Like, Kim, like, at one point, you got to understand, like, there's no way in life that you can take an L and you're a superstar. You're the #1 quarterback. That, bro, what the? You get all the way to the Super Bowl and don't get a ring? I want to talk about that. Your mom ever told you if you got in a fight at school and they hit you first, what you gonna do back? Yeah, I know your mama told you that. Wait, because you're a little soft a little bit. So when you...
Ladies, I had to pause it and run here breathless to tell you one thing. And if you listen to nothing else that I ever say, please listen to this. Let this be your permission, nay, your New Year's resolution, okay? To talk to men exactly like this. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Anytime I've ever taken this kind of stance and talked like this to a man, I have received nothing but benefits and good results from it. Now notice, I don't say that I talk to all men like this. Okay, you have to be able to read the room and know the right situations to use this in. You don't always want to be doing this. But part of this is that like men view conversation as psychological warfare on some level. Not all men, but like a lot of men really do. It's kind of their default. This is how men communicate with one another. It's very offense based. You're always kind of going on offense. Either you're taking up space, telling your own stories, or you're just kind of like pontificating and talking over the other person. This is how men do it. Now, what's interesting about this setting is obviously he's the one asking her questions, and there's several times that she flips the dynamic back on him. This is important because you can do this. You can do this in job interview, employment evaluations. You can do this during salary negotiation. This is a very good tactic. The other thing that Natalie was doing a lot in this interview is kind of going on offense in the same way. She wasn't letting Cam dictate her narrative. She was like, no, this is my narrative. No, this is what it is. She kept going sort of on offense with it. And what did that cause him to do? It caused him to get defensive. Now, this is where you can come in and completely flip the dynamics. Once a man goes on defense, you've pretty much won. For most men that you'll be dealing with, their only actual defense is like this sense of mystique that they can create around themselves. Let me show you. This is generally what I'm talking about. You see how he's dressed a certain way? He has a hat on. He's got the hat down. The glasses are on. He at one point starts smoking a cigar. All of this is meant to create this sense of like this aura around him. He's aura farming or whatever the kids are saying these days. But like quite literally, that is it. Like the kids are actually onto something with that phrase because that's what men are doing. But see, the mystique is there because it oftentimes is used to conceal a lack of substance. And so essentially, if you refuse to fall for the mystique, you're going to end up exposing the fact that there's no substance. And this is why I say to use this carefully, sparingly, vet your surroundings, vet the man, etc. But this can yield really, really good results. Now, how do I know this? What are my qualifications? Why am I saying this? One, I'm highly neurodivergent. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, but I suspect I'm probably on the spectrum as well because conversation has always been psychological warfare to me as well. Like social cues are hard for me. So I tapped into that dynamic pretty early on. And I have a feeling this actually explains why a lot of autistic women like don't get along with other women. I just have a feeling that some of us neurodivergent women don't tend to view conversation as relationally as neurotypical women. We relate more to people through like parallel play rather than direct conversation. And so when we do have conversation, we tend to be very data and solution oriented with it rather than just relational, like just chatting or whatever. But I will say it does kind of give me an edge with men. They respond very well to like very direct communication. And also because low key, they really like being submissive. They like for somebody else to take charge. So if you're a woman that speaks to men directly, you probably know this. They probably all think you're their mommy now. It works though. It works. I will say that. Also, I was raised by two Slavic women. And if you know anything about neurodivergence, it's genetic. So you can only guess what the dynamics were in that house. I didn't interact very much with men when I was little. So I just learned, like, I just spoke like a different language. You know how like in that first Wonder Woman movie, there's like that island of women. Sometimes I feel like that kind of represents my upbringing because I'm usually not impressed or intimidated by this kind of thing. Basically, I had to learn not to speak to men like this. I really really do need you to make this your absolute default setting. I don't care if you need to put this interview on repeat for like several days and in your head tell yourself that this is your mom and this is how you've always observed her speaking to men, because at the end of the day, you fall back on the actions of your parents. Tell yourself this was my mom if you need to. If you did not grow up around women that speak like this, and if it's hard for you not to fawn around men, literally listen to this on repeat, because we have so little representation of these kinds of conversations and these kinds of dynamics that it's very important to actually like internalize it. Okay, if you're still here and you want to hear me yap a little more about this, I'm going to upload a longer version of this to my YouTube, or if you happen to be one of my community subscribers on TikTok, I will upload a part 2 just for you guys. Godspeed and Happy New Year, ladies. I love you. Mwah.
I'm a lover.
That's why you got 9 kids.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about that.
Talk to me.
Like, damn, Cam. I got 1 and that's a lot. Like, that's how I know you got money. Can I get another drink? That's how I know you got money, though, for real. 9 kids, goddamn.
I ain't got that much.
Huh?
I ain't got that much. I'm hurting.
You rich.
You gonna hire me?
Like, you for sure are rich. Like, 9 kids means like, nigga, like, what? Journey is, because they popping, but damn, Cam, like, you got 9 kids?
Nina.
Like, you definitely got some money.
No.
That's expensive.
I got some love.
I hate a nigga that talk about he got love. Sure. You know what? Love ain't gonna pay the bills, baby.
What gonna pay the bills?
This nigga said love. Love ain't gonna pay the bills. Cam, love?
Okay.
No, let's get like, come on,
like
Cam. Cam said I got love.
Is love enough?
It is enough, but it is not gonna pay the bill.
Why should a man take a baddie serious?
Do you know what the first thing that came to my mind? Or do you want me to say something else?
Me?
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
But the whole truth.
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9 to 5, on a, you got a good job. My business is paid. Okay. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take a baddie serious? Because we pay the bills.
Why should a man?
Because we pay the bills. Okay.
Take financials out of it.
Okay, so what?
What are the qualities that a baddie may bring to the table? You're not answering my question.
No, you just asked. What?
No, I'm gonna guide you.
I don't know. Don't guide me. Oh my God.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get to an answer.
Right. I don't know. Baddies bring a lot to the table.
Can you name something?
Great mothers.
Okay, talk about it.
I put $1 million swimming pool in my backyard because my daughter said she wants to swim. Okay. So I put a pool. It cost me $909. It was like $1 million. Okay. I put great moms.
Yes.
Good people. Giving. I'm the biggest giver. A baddie is gonna give. We're gonna give to the community. I pass out turkeys every year.
Why should a man take a baddie serious?
Because I pay the bills. Because I'm a boss. So how much more serious does it need to get?
You're talking about you.
I'm just saying baddies. Baddies pay the bills. All my baddies get money. Every last one of them are rich. I know what I pay these girls. They make more money than anybody in America on a 9 to 5, on a you got a good job. My business is paid. So at the end of the day, you said, why should anyone take a baddie serious? Because we pay the fucking bills.
Why should a man?
Because we pay the bills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What if you're dealing with a man?
It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, I deal with Jacob, and but my baddies, I got a couple baddies that.
I'm not speaking in.
No, wait. So my baddie Anna is dating an MLB player.
Okay.
They get money. He makes more money than her for sure. She don't give a fuck. They don't care. Baddies don't care.
But what I'm referring to is it's not necessarily about money all the time. And I think
no, you said that. No. You said what is it that makes a male?
No, I will say it again.
Okay, say it again.
Why should a man take a baddie
I
serious.
just told you. When they make more money and they're the boss.
That's cool.
She's the boss. And
But-
so he makes, so what I was trying to refer to is he makes more money, right?
Right.
But she's the boss.
Okay, take money out of it.
No, it was money out of it.
Natalie Nunn just ran circles around Cam Newton. She exhausted him. You could see the exhaust in his eyes, like he couldn't even muster up a proper question or a follow-up. She said, "You got 9 kids?" And the way she did it with such lovely, plausible deniability, it's like, is she laughing at me? Or is she laughing with me? Am I laughing at her? What is going? He looked so confused. But let me tell you, Cam, she was laughing at you. And we all are, frankly. She was cackling her way through the entire interview. And she had that man unsettled from the depths of his soul. Whatever he thought was going to happen during that interview, it went left, right, upside down, inside out real quick. I know that man sat there after that interview was over and just stared at the wall, replaying what happened over and over again, how the train got off the rails. And sir, I don't know, but Natalie Nunn just got a new fan out of me, girl. Let me go watch Baddies. I've never seen it before, but
when Natalie Nunn says, people don't respect anything but violence. And then Cam Newton goes, no. Mind you, the man who played football. And that's so funny because the world really wants women to believe that it's like pretty and safe and perfect. Men don't want women safe. Men don't want women with control. Men don't want women with independence. So they constantly reinforce this idea that the world is safe and soft and caring and not at all violent, despite the scary statistics in the world, because they want us to be soft and meek. And whether or not you want to be feminine is your choice. Who gives a fuck? But in order to be soft and optimistic and regulated and receptive, which is what they seem to want femininity to be, you have to be in a safe environment. If no one's constructing that environment for you, you have to construct it for yourself. And that's why it's hard for men to conceptualize when women are making more money than them, because in order to make money and to succeed in a capitalist society, you have to take on some violent characteristics.
Don't let the Cam interview make you forget what Natalie Nunn said about dark-skinned women and how she's hosting these shows with these women on there. And don't forget what she's doing. Okay, you can like some things about someone, appreciate this certain characteristic, but you don't have to. You don't have to be fanned out about Natalie Nunn.
I watched the Cam Newton and Natalie Nunn interview, and I am confused as to why you guys are always so easily impressed. Like, it was just a brain rot conversation at most. And even though Cam Newton, I think, was trying to diss her initially, what he was trying to prove was right. She don't stand for much. Like, the baddies don't stand for much. And if you really know psychology, you would see that Natalie felt insulted, but some of the offense she felt came from her own insecurities about this baddie's image. Like, she knows that baddies aren't respected worldwide, and there's valid reason for that. That's why every time he said, tell me why a man would want to be with a baddie, or tell me, she couldn't name nothing that didn't have to do with money or status. Come on, guys, please.
how you feeling?
I respect it. Know what it is. And I'm gonna blame it on like the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, and this was something that she kept asking for. We didn't.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It slightly got like, oh, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Then it was like I was trying to exit, but then it was like, hold on, a moment's happening that you don't want to be like, hold on.
Yeah.
Natalie Nunn was able to kind of punk Cam Newton in that interview because of her sociology degree. Yes, that is the reason why. And it's not due to psychology, as some people have kind of gotten their head wrapped around, just due to the fact that they saw psychological effects, but that's not what Natalie was employing. So that's where the difference is. I saw one content creator, and I'll play a clip of her. She said she's a philosophy, or she has a degree in philosophy. And she is correct that underneath philosophy, until like 1859 or so, which was almost 200 years ago, I will say, psychology and sociology were beneath philosophy. They're all considered one thing underneath philosophy. They're no longer the same, right?
Did we watch the same interview? I see everybody cheering Natalie Nunn on, saying, oh my gosh, she's so smart. She went to college. She's intelligent. She's a sociology major. For one, what do sociology have to do that? Sociology is the study of social systems and social behavior and relationships. Y'all are thinking about psychology. Psychology would be mind manipulation tactics, not sociology. So off rip, that let me know that y'all are coming from a flawed place of thinking. Off rip. But for two, all she did that whole interview was gaslight and manipulate Cam Newton.
So there is a clear distinction between the two. You have sociology, which focuses on the social landscape, social systems, social norms, social groups, all of that. That study is over there, and right parallel to it is psychology. That's what's going on within the mind. That's the assessment of where certain emotions stem from, where your personality stems from, attachment styles, all of these things that are going on within the mind. And not only within the singular mind, but within the mind of a group. When you have groupthink bias, when you have conformity biases, things like that involve an entire group. So it's not always just about the mind. And psychology is not and has never just been mind manipulation tactics. No. That's not what that's not what the study of psychology is. If you study psychology, you aren't then more capable of employing mind manipulation tactics. That's not what it's for. It's mainly to assess someone. So when we saw the female therapist come in and assess Cam, basically, she was basically saying that I can see you. She was saying that based on what you're saying, what's happening, she was able to make assessments, understand where he was coming from, why he was coming from certain places. She was going deep down that rabbit hole, right? That's not what Natalie Nunn was doing. Natalie Nunn, all she did was her homework. And she knew that Cam Newton valued where he was in society. He appointed himself basically at a very high place in society. He put himself way up here, and she did her homework to just find out all the reasons why him putting himself up here does not match up with what society deems as being in the upper echelon. How would that put you there? What, you know what I mean? She just kind of just pointed out every single way that he was not where he thought he was or where he put himself. I mean, unfortunately, no black man with 3 baby mamas and 9 children is exactly where he thinks he is. The eccentric dressing, it's not where it can be a signal of nonconformity, which can be a signal and a signifier of being in the upper echelon, but it's not. But she even was able to poke a hole in the way he dresses just by kind of making fun of him going to the thrift store. She was just able to poke holes in things. And that's not an employment of psychological tactics. That's just pointing out how you don't fit into social norms. And of course, psychology is in everything. It literally is in everything. I have a psych degree from Princeton. I also have an African American Studies degree from there. And I have an MBA from Tulane in finance. Literally, psychology is basically what moves the markets, right? It's your confidence in a company, in a stock, in a whatever that allows you to bolster its value, right? Furthermore, it's what moves the markets, right? If you think that something is going to happen, if the markets can anticipate something happening, then it's already baked into the numbers and it happens, no big deal, right? But if something happens that's not anticipated, everything falls apart. Psychology of the markets, right? Psychology is in everything. So you're seeing an effect of a psychological effect on Cam from what Natalie's doing, but Natalie is not a psychologist and she's not doing anything particularly she's not really assessing him. He doesn't require an assessment and she isn't assessing him. She's literally just pointing out like the social like constructs that he does not fit in, and that makes him uncomfortable, and so he's uncomfortable. And I think it's very, very fascinating to watch. But to say that she is not intelligent and that she did not use her degree in that interview, and to also just take control of the interview, I thought was very interesting. I thought that people who thought that she was not intelligent and didn't know exactly what she was doing, she gave them a performance. And she said while she was there, she was like, this is going to be your best ever, your most highly viewed. I believe his usual views are between, like, for his podcast, are between like 20 and 50,000. This one I think is already at like 750K. I mean, she blew everything out of the water because she gave a great performance. And that is why I believe he aired it, knowing that he did not look the best. He did not look great in that interview. But the cash, right? He wants that check, right? Because we have to keep pretending that maybe we're somebody that we're not. We got all the way to the Super Bowl and we dropped the ball and then backed away because we were what? We were scared. Ooh. Is an alpha? Is this amazing man? Does he lose? Is he a loser? Does he come in second? Does he get scared? It makes him question how he fits into this social norm that or this social group, this social standing that he's set for himself. And that he believes wholeheartedly that he's in. He needs it, right? He needs that. Who walks around looking like that? That's someone who needs attention, right? Okay.
Hello guys, thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please subscribe, like and share any talk you have in the comment section. So guys, to be fair, for this one I will not have a lot to say, but what I can say is I did promise I was gonna like talk about like the Cam Newton and the Natalie Nunn situation. So yeah, it's me talking about it. Like, to be fair, the girl, I'm not really familiar with the personality of Natalie Nunn. It's just now that I recently discovered that she maybe runs the baddies seasons or whatever. She owns the season or the series or the, I don't know, whatever they call it, there's something baddies community or whatever. So like, I'm not really familiar with Natalie Nunn. Like, the first time I really heard her name of like Natalie Nunn is when Nicki Minaj talks about these girls ain't call me with Natalie Nunn or whatever. So that's the only time I've really been familiar with Natalie Nunn or heard about her. Meaning I just know of her, but I don't really know her. So when this interview with Cam Newton came out, I was like really surprised, because normally he interviews people like very these big celebrities and stuff. Like I don't know, who was the last celebrity he had on? I think with the Cam Newton, one thing that he's so consistent about is his, let's say, if you're a person that knows how to peep misogyny from a mile away, you would know in your heart of hearts that Cam Newton is a misogynist. And all this nonsense he keeps talking about, what does a baddie bring to the table? What people need to understand is baddies are not bad women. Yeah, sorry guys for the, oh my god, I just feel a little bit disgraceful right now. Sorry guys for that. So let's go back to conversation. Baddies are not bad women. Baddies are not bad women. And it's so crazy that somebody like me have this this view of saying baddies are not bad women, because if you would have asked me 2 years ago that do you want to be a baddie, I would have said, I don't know. But in terms of the baddie seasons that we used to watch on TV, no, I don't want to be that kind of baddie. Someone who is just fighting. For me, I think the baddie season is low-key misogynistic. Yeah, all this baddies enterprise is kind of like baddies as a form of entertainment in a kind of way is low-key misogynistic and has a lot of misogynoir. How they call it? Is it misogynoir or whatever? Yeah, really like very interwoven into the DNA of the series or of the, I've forgotten the name I will say I'll use. So it's kind of like very interwoven into the DNA of the baddies franchise. Yes, that's the word, of the baddies franchise. Like, it's crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy to me because like, I don't know, because I don't keep up with this baddie franchise and everything. Every time I want to watch it, is girls fighting with very like breast out and everything, and this out and everything, and it just has this like raw gothic uncouth behavior that that comes out from the series basically. So it's not my cup of tea. No, it's not my cup of tea. And that also goes as well with the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and the Love and Hip Hop Miami. It's crazy that it's entertainment and you have people who watch, but that's not my cup of tea. But let's say baddies on its own term as a whole, if you're not referring to the franchise which Natalie Nunn runs, I would say, yeah, that kind of baddies is what I want to be. And when Cam Newton asked the question of what does a baddie bring to the table, I think, guys, what I've grown to know is when someone is saying what does a baddie bring to the table, guys, that is a little bit triggering. Yes, guys, it's a little bit triggering when somebody asks, oh, what does a baddie bring to the table? It's kind of like saying it's another it stems from, of course, everyone knows it stems from a phrase where they says, oh, what does a woman bring to the table? Guys, that thing triggers me a lot. That thing triggers me a lot, because this question of what does a woman bring to the table, guys, it's very annoying. It's really annoying, because if you're a woman and you understand the value of women, is regardless of whether a woman gets old to the age of 80 or 90 or 60, a woman is always going to have value. End of story, period. So it takes me, and I'll give you 2 examples of when I would say that has made me foster this belief and also maintain it and have it embedded in my soul and in my mind. It's like imprinted on my soul, and it embodies what I believe about women being valuable at any age. Like, for example, I'll give like Jeff Bezos' wife. Yeah, the current wife he's married to, Lauren Sanchez. Is it? Yeah, that's her name. She married Bezos at the age of what? Mid-50s or in her 50s. Guys, let me tell you something. I will never be proud of her marriage with Bezos, considering how that marriage started and how it was a cause of Bezos' first marriage being broken down. Like, forgetting all what Mr. Bezos was saying. Oh no, oh, we were already separated, so of course she did not break us up. Well, that's all lies. Well, not to focus on that, just to focus on the fact that if Bezos, who is one of the richest man in the world known to people, if he can marry a woman in his 50s, right, it goes to show that a woman will be valuable in any age. And to add on that, like, for example, like most of these podcast bros and everything will come online and talk about, oh, you know, if you can, like, you know, do you think a man, a high value man like Bezos is checking for an old person, a girl who is past her prime, who has hit the wall, or who has done this or has done that, or this and everything? No, that's a lie. That is a big big fat lie. And most of what these podcast bros talk about, how the value of a woman is determined by how young she is and how viable or fruitful viable she is, that's some bull nonsense. And a second example I'm going to give is like, guys, do you remember that famous interview that went viral a couple of, let's say, weeks or months ago, about a woman who was being questioned by one podcast bro and says, oh, so are you just gonna be like a 3 or 4 or a whore all your life? No one is gonna marry you, no one is gonna be, or like, you're not gonna be of any value to any man. And she asked the question, I'm sure you guys remember if I say what she said. She said, oh, help me understand this. You married a woman who had previously been married, has 2 baby daddies and 3 children before you met her. And did you not still marry her as the high value man you proclaim to be? Then he immediately goes on to abuse her. Oh, do not talk about my wife. Don't you ever talk about my wife. Do you get me? It just goes to show that even if he got married to his wife around the age of 40, his wife was at the age of 40 when he got married with 3 children that are not his. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter how many children that woman is going to have. She's always going to be valuable to a man. And it also brings me back to the conversation of, what do you mean a baddie brings to the table? Like, guys, in society, I'm not talking about the baddies franchise that Natalie Nunn runs. As a franchise, not as a franchise, the word baddie itself is a woman. For me, the way I've shifted this definition to say a baddie is a woman who takes care of her appearance to the maximum, and also values herself, guys. And this also referred to, like, as I'm speaking, I'm also referring to a video where a woman says, like, for example, you can't just be, okay, like, for example, I'll give you an example that Shara 7 said. Shara 7 was saying, going out on a free meal with a man is the bare minimum a man can give you. Because if, for example, you're a baddie and let's say people can see you and recognize that, it adds value or gives like, people respect that man to a degree that they will not respect him if he was not seen out with you. So it adds value to how they are being perceived by society. So when I see all these things of what does a baddie bring to the table, like, no, shift. What do you mean, what does a baddie bring to the table? And I even didn't want Natalie Nunn to say they have money, they have this. No. Even if a baddie was to just come as she is, does not bring money, does not bring anything, just have value to be seen with that man, is more than enough value to, I don't know why people do this rubbish of what do you bring to the table. Like, it just pisses me off. The thing of what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Well, like, I don't want to sound cringe to say, oh my God, then we at the table, or women at the table. I don't even want to sound like that because it's a little bit cringe for me. But at the end of the day, like, the value that a man can be seen with a baddie, it adds. That's just it. It adds to that man's value. Because I've heard many people say men are not going to date. They are always going to date women that their friends approve of. Yeah, they are going to date women that their friends approve of. So, like, that's why you see people get married to wives that are arm candy, but it's not the woman they really love. But so what if they get married to that woman who is arm candy? She is the one bearing children that will inherit the generational wealth of that man. So it's crazy to me that people will try to say, what do you bring to the table? I'm not gonna lie here. If anybody asks me that, like, a man asking a woman, what do you bring to the table, that is already a red flag on its own. Because the man already like, for example, guys, men, like women or guys, I'm speaking to every gender now. Men already know the value women bring to the table. So a man asking a woman, what do you bring to the table, is now in a kind of way gaslighting that woman to think, oh my God, he's asking, what do I bring to the table? What should I tell him? Oh my God. Like right now, he's asking you, he's placing like in a, that is a very, very tricky question. That's not even a tricky question. That's a very manipulative question, because now he's indirectly placing demands that you start listening to him, that if, for example, you guys are to get into a relationship, you're not able to keep up with those demands, or it will take a lot out of you to keep up with those demands. He's going to start gaslighting you and say, look, when I asked you, what did you bring to the table? You said you could do this, you could do that. Now, have you seen you failed? Guys, a man that really loves you will not open their mouth. I mean, girls, a man that really loves you will not open their mouth to tell you, what do you bring to the table? It will never happen. Because he already knows the value you bring to him, and the comfort and the partnership and that safe space you bring to him. He already knows that. The men who ask you that are men who are going to manipulate the hell out of you in any relationship they want to be with you in. Like, I've made up my mind. If maybe I meet somebody and he's interested in me, and the first thing he asks, what are you going to bring? What are you going to contribute to the relationship? Or what do you bring to the table? Do you know what? Bye. Boy, bye. Do you know why? Because that's a very manipulative question. He already knows. Like, men who are serious to get married to women or to be in a relationship with women who they really want, they are not going to ask them, what do you bring to the table? No, they are not, because they already know. They already know. They already know. And a guy will never ask anybody who is his dream girl or dream woman, what do you bring to the table? Never. Never. It will never happen. Okay, let's take, for example, Steve Harvey. The wife he's married to now is his dream woman. Do you think he met her the first day? He said he was going to marry her. He said, I don't know who you are. And that time he was still married to his, second wife, or his first wife? He said, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to marry you. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to marry you. Did you think, if he was interested, do you think he asked his wife, what do you bring to the table? Do you think he's going to ask his wife, what do you bring to the table? Do you really think he's going to ask his wife, what do you bring to the table? Do you think so? Oh my God. Did you think he asked Marjorie, what did you bring to the table? Do you know what? It's because he already knew. He already knew what Marjorie meant to him and what Marjorie brought to him. So, like, it's crazy to me when people wake up and say, oh, what do you bring to the table? Girls, they are deceiving you. They're deceiving you. End of story. So guys, I'm tired of really speaking. So I think this is all I've got to say in regards to the matter. So if you have anything you've got to share in regards to the situation, please drop a like, a comment. We can't disagree, but we have to do it nicely and respectable like human beings. Thank you.